Morning, everyone. How's it going? Happy Friday, everybody. Lots to get through this morning. So let's get a move on with it. Hopefully you had a good session overnight. Those of you who are waiting for that previous week value area low, well, you either had a nice long up to it or a nice fade away from it if you're awake for it. Okay, so here we go. Market in rebound mode. We are now in breakout on daily. All right, closed above this shelf and we're coming back in towards this. All right, pivot. All right, up towards the 900. You can see we're thin in here, 840s up towards, or should we say, yeah, 800s up towards the 900s here. So very much starting to look like that's a potential target here for a retest of this. And then if they get through it, you know, can we get up into the 20-day next week? 20-day today is at 29,000. I'm not sure we've got that in us, but we will see. So market opening up outside bar, all right, in rebound mode. This seems like the target, and it's also matched in the options chain right now. That would mean a recovery of previous week's value. We will see, or at least a dive back inside of it. All right, so what we're watching today to see if we can get up there. If we're looking for longs, we're looking for dips to hold to get up there. All right, otherwise, if it just keeps squeezing, it's going to be very hard to get involved with. We do have an overnight build out of liquidity we can look at. If we start failing, obviously underneath this bar, then we're going to see some weakness back to the 5-day. Clues are going to come from value in the hourlies, as always. So if we look at what we got, I mean, this is a straight scream up after a fail break lower. This is like your go-to setup. Your fail break lower when we're overextended. That's where shorts get trapped. That's why we wanted really to have been able to buy that long. Never came in yesterday. So what we did buy was the pivot. All right. There's the hold. This is what I went over with you guys numerous times yesterday. That hold on the hourly was very vital, right, to say that we were going to get a bigger upside move. There comes the grind overnight. Little pullback before we come into previous week value area low. Those of you who followed me on X would have said I was saying algo's in full control until we hit 630. That's why. All right. This is why I said that, because the fact that we held this and we went into grind mode, that is an algorithm taking over the tape to bid us back up to value. All right. And then we fail value. So what we have to watch for today is this build out of liquidity. You're basically watching 400 to 600. That's the overnight dance. All right. Are we going to look below and fail, reclaim and go upside? If we do look below and fail, we can consider the move right back to 250. All right. So if we come under 400 and they fail 400 and they come down to 250, all right, that is a potential short setup, and then they can bid 250, reclaim 400 and come back up to 630, and that is a potential long setup. All right. We're not technically, I mean, you can take these trades short here if you want. We're not technically looking for shorts until we come back inside yesterday's value. And even then, that starts to see very dangerous. So I'm almost more inclined to look for longs, all right, around here for fail, break lower, or come down and double bottom and go, or something like that. Breakouts over 600, all right, if we break out over 600, you can see we've got a very clear shelf here to aim for into these wick highs, so towards the 8s, all right, and like we talked about, we do have this low volume node up here, all right, 8 to 9s, somewhere in here, and the expected move based on yesterday was 969, would be a full 1 standard deviation. Doesn't have to get there, but that would be a full 1 standard deviation, which would take us into this red block. Currently, we're expecting 900. Based on pre-market, we're expecting 856 as the edges. So as we start to get above this in here, we don't expect the market to go much further. Doesn't mean it can't. It can come all the way up here if it wants. Okay, when we look at that into 900, we have a big call wall. Now, the put and calls are all over the shop. Why? Because it's Friday and we're going to expire today on the weeklies and the dailies. All right, so it might be a bit of a mess in terms of what happens. We'll let this settle down at the open. ES looking much cleaner, positive gamma and ES with call walls above us for it to grind up to at the moment. All right, let's go through what's happening on the tape, what's moved into a 5-minute. This is your overnight levels that you're watching. All right, we're watching very clearly. 4s, 6s, 250s, 750s, 900s. All right, we can consider this, but we'll start talking about that if we lose 200, 250, not beforehand. Okay. Yes, let's get into it. All right, starting to lose its shelf a little bit. Same kind of story here. If we zoom out, liquidity hanging out above. We've started to come into an LVN here. Question for yes is very simple. All right, can it hold this pivot? All right, can it hold 70s? All right, and then reclaim 95s to the whole number 7,500 and look for that drive. If it loses this, right, at 70s, you might see this roll over back down. Think about what we did here before. Fail break, fail to break lower, come up. It's got to hold the upside. If it can't hold the upside of that, we come back into here. Okay, so that's what we're watching, being very, very careful. It's clearly got upside targets. All right, positive gamma, there's your zero line. It's clearly got upside targets, but we expect rotations, even if we're going to get up there. We don't expect a straight drive, but much of that will depend on the broader market right now. SPY, if you trade SPY, very much looks the same. Very clean levels here. It's actually trading it as neutral zone, so the options don't match up with the spiders right now. Right, that's a zero line or neutral zone. Upside target is 750 if it can get going. All right, if it loses neutral zone, back inside this first part. All right, so 743 to 740 becomes available. If it loses that, well, we have weakness, but I don't think it should lose that right now. Should be looking to hold that, because even that's a range, so it should be looking for this or this and then this. All right, it shouldn't want to do that unless we get things shift very, very quickly in the market. Qs, same story. All right, you can see here's its zero line. All right, trying to drive higher. We do have a put wall here. It's kind of a weird area for it. Hopefully they clean that up after the open. 700 is where it wants to go. Remember, that was the big GEX level for months. All right. It was a put wall and a put wall and a put wall and a put wall. And then we went negative gamma underneath it. And it's now a cool wall. Just remember that. It was like that for ages and ages and ages. The amount of times we came down there, right, and found a bid, right, and found a bid and found a bid and found a bid before eventually losing it. All right. So maybe today it wants to come and test it. It would be asking a lot. You never know. You just never know. All right, VIX coming back downside, starting to lose the 18s, now at the 17s. If it loses 17s, we drift lower and lower and lower. We will see. We'll see if that spike to 21 was it. I doubt it, but it might very well be it. Dixie is starting to come back in. So this is now starting to look like a failed break. Now, if Dixie can't get back above this level here, Dixie needs to do this move here. If it can't do it, all right, and we start seeing that, that's very positive for the market. It would be a failed breakout. And that has been echoed potentially on the 30-year. Oh, it's still holding the 30-year, so I'm talking bollocks. I was going to say it has the chance to do this move here, but it's holding well. So that, I mean, that looks terrible for the market, I'm going to be honest. That 30-year breaking out does not look good. All right, crude. Continuing to hold, nothing's changed here. All right, you're watching basically 80, just call it 80 to 92s. All right, there's your build out. All right, it will make its decision. Is it midpoint and fail, or are we back on in the war? We can see yesterday, no deal's been done. They can't seem to get anything over the line right now. All right, let's look at the ETFs, MAGs, gapping up here. Great earnings yesterday for Meta. Actually, pretty good earnings for Apple, but, you know, as always with Apple, it's already priced in. They did miss on iPhones and a few other things, but they did beat on some big sectors, including China, which was important. So we'll see really what the story is today. Does Apple stay weak after that big grind up for the last few weeks into earnings, which is what they always do? We're watching this zero line down into 64. Do they hold this shelf on MAGs and look for upside relief? You can see pre-market, we've come into a cool wall and failed. So 65 to 64 is the level right now. We look at the SOX. Let's do the triples. Right, these grinded up overnight. This was their target, 30s. They got very, very close to it. Right, and then failed and pulled back from it. And it's going to be the same target today. Now, if they break through 30s, we're then watching these pivots, aren't we? 32s, and then maybe all the way up to 50s. Probably not today. and they'll want to hold 20 to 15 range. All right, they'll want to do one of these. This is going to be like the NQ. If we lose 20s and we do this 15 move and then reclaim 20s, that is the same level that we just talked about on NQ for that kind of same kind of look, where we might flush below, grab a bid, and then come back up. Apple. All right, there's the big sell on Apple. Now, just zoom out. Don't get too worried. Just look at what we've done. All right. This was the move, the walk up into earnings. This is what they always do. All right. I'd say it needs to hold sort of 300-ish. If we start losing 300s, we're going to see weakness back down into this demand block here. All right. If we come back down there, I'm going to bid it. I'm already long from way down here in August. Right, I'm long from down here somewhere. So, or it might even be here. No, it's August. Yeah, it's here. So I'm long from here. I'll wait to see if it comes in and gives me an opportunity to rebuy. Amazon, strength, all right, on the earnings. Ripper, all right, let's see where we are on the daily. Absolutely ripping faces. It's lovely to be long in this right now. So I'm going to look for pullbacks. If it can give me any form of pullback, we are at a TP level. If it can give me any form of pullback, I will be buying this, because what we're now going to have is unfortunately no undercut, but this move here. All right, so I'm looking to add to my position at 250. Remember, we're long from down here. We're long from down here. We're just waiting to see if it gives us another opportunity here. Goog. Coming to key levels, that was the level that we lost before that big node. Selling off with Apple at the moment. Can see if it can hold its shelf here at 36s and catch a bid. Meta, all right, nice rally back yesterday after the wash. All right, so there's the earnings miss. And we're going to spend more CapEx. There's the tightening, first drive, second drive, third drive, buy side of the curve. Can it hold pullbacks? Question mark. If it can it try and get back up to here? Otherwise, this is a build out of liquidity to trade lower. And the easiest move is lower right now. I'm certainly not really interested in buying this right now. I know it came to a support level for a bid, but I still think, given that it's come this close to some of these, I wouldn't be surprised for this to continue to wash down. I mean, that's quite a significant build out. I wouldn't be surprised for this to come and clean some of these out and make a move. Q4 or 2027. Not right now. I don't think this is a relief rally, and not much more than that at the moment. Microsoft, all right, again, continues to hold its gains after a big drive out on earnings. Looks really healthy. This is another big winner for us that we'll swing long in. We'll just have to see if this can come down to earth for us to reload. Again, we're long down here, folks. There's the undercut. Right, we're long in these. This looks great. We'll see if we can come back to 430 if we get really lucky, and then we can try and get that move up to these double tops at all-time highs, and then beyond that we get a breakout. All right, that's what I'm looking for, Q4 into 2027. Nvidia, all right, on the rally back with the semis. Where have you gone, Nvidia? There we go, thank you. Still in its range though, all right, and you're just watching the 200. It's got to reclaim 200, otherwise there's not much to do there. And we can have a look at that after. But semis rallying back, but coming into key levels. All right, folks, good luck, everyone. You know what I'm looking for? I'm going to watch 400. I'm going to watch 600. Look at this move already since we've been talking. And I'm going to watch 270s. This is starting to really move fast already. Jeez Louise, even in that short period of time that we did that. About another 100 points up. The ATR is massive today, folks. Be careful. See what we can get here. SPY's already back to its 20-day. Wow. Wow. All right, MAG looking like they want to shove up here. Semi's looking like they want the same at the moment. VIX coming under 17, so it's quite bullish open. There we go. Up to previous week value area low. Now this is decision point. If we break over this, we're going to look for a squeeze all the way up. If they fail up here, it's a rejection of previous week's value. Remember, 900, 790, and then 900 potentially today is on the cards. I'd much rather we come lower for a dip, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do that at the open, does it? Let's get some volume on here as well. Here we go. Semi's breaking out. This is just like last night. This is all about semiconductors again. How far can they shove it? So that's through the 130s on the semiconductors. Now, if they hold pullback to 130s, they were looking for 140, 150. All depends if this is going to be a failed breakout or not on semiconductors now. All right, here you go. Previous week value area low. You just tagged it now. And the overnight high is the top side of this. Let's just check that. Yeah, around 42s or something. You're about to take that out. If they hold bids over previous week value area low, they will squeeze right the way up here. And this would be just like yesterday. This is huge buyers coming up here. If we fell over this, we're going to do a mean reversion back inside this range. Huge, huge buyers coming in here. Huge. This is just like yesterday. We just open up and rip. No care in the world. No structure. We just rip. Buy semis. Off they go. Crazy. Crazy market right now. Zoom this H1 in a little bit. Well, your next targets, if they hold all bids here, are going to be 780s, really. That next red block. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's just like yesterday. It's exactly the same. Just straight up. We're just going to go straight up. Okie dokie. Straight. Yeah, I know. Poor hedge fund. Messed with the street, didn't he? Got hurt. Got hurt messing with the street. And we'll watch here how we act back into 646s. It's where the huge buyers came in. I mean, at the moment, it's not coming back anywhere near that. We're just going to rip and rip and rip and rip. So mag about to break out pre-market high. Semis are already at 133s. This thing's just on a face ripper. It's on a face ripper, folks. What's this line up here? Is this an old auction? 710s. Previous week open was 750s. Liquidity resting up here once we break that 900s. It'd be nice if it just pulled back for once this week, but it won't. It will not. We just squeeze New York open nowadays, do we? It's either straight flush or straight rip without any structure. Through that now. Can we come back down to earth here a little bit, please, and build out some liquidity for me? Can we come and test 640 and show me what you're going to do? You're just going to hold every tiny low volume node, are you, and just keep going all the way up to 900 without the ability to do anything. You're going to do exactly the same as yesterday, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yippee! Well, this is good. What a fun market. Not. what someone's supposed to do. You're supposed to do nothing, mate. You can't do anything with this. You can't do anything unless you were long pre-market from down here. That was your long trigger. This is just a squeeze, mate. You just got to accept it happens. This is the market right now. This is what they like to do at the moment. All right, back to POC. I'll wait to see how we act down here. This LVN can still hold from buyers. ES failed to take out the high there from overnight. Semi's back to VWAP. I'm going to wait to see how we act at 40s here, if we can come back there. Make a decision. If they hold it, I'll bid. If they don't hold it, I'll play the trade back downside. Holding the LVN at the moment. Measure this out. Yeah, just 183 points in the first 7 minutes. It was actually in the first 6 minutes. Okay, waiting now to see how we act as we come down to 40s and 50s here. And if they don't bid it and they don't trap sellers, then I'll be trying to sell. And if they trap sellers, I'll consider the bid here for the move back up. But if we lose value, then I'm going to play rotation lower. Semi's just got nuked. They're back down to New York Open. It's a huge squeeze up just for them to sell into. If pops start to fail here into 80s and then they lose 40s, they're going to be in trouble. Here's 40s. There's value being held. I'm actually not looking at longs here at the moment based on the tape. I actually want to see if there's failures here now, if that's just a squeeze out to fail. Huge seller at these lows at 20s. It's the first time I've seen a seller today. And we're under him. All right, I'm going to see if pops fail here now, folks, if that was a squeeze out to sell into. Semi's back to low of day. Can you believe that? What a move. All right, I want to watch if we pop up anywhere here for me to get sell side now that we've lost value. Big seller came in at 20s. I'm going to watch 40s. Can we please pop up a little bit? Don't just slam the door. Oh my God. All right, so there's a New York Open. I'm waiting to see if we can do this move here for this or this move here for this. All right, I'm waiting for us to come back into this again, and we flipped it again. Semi's now at VWAP. They're getting absolutely wrecked. That was a huge move up and a huge move back down, and they can find a bid here. Oh my God, can you give me an entry? This is like yesterday, just can't get an entry. It moves so quick. Big sellers at these lows. Come on, pop up a little bit. Oh my God, everything being sold into this. Mags back at VWAP. Hopefully they hold a bid at VWAP on the mags and we can get pop up and make a decision here. New York Open failing there. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy. Nothing like being sat in your hands, watching this move so fast. All right, you're into a pivot here at 5s. They can hold the pivot here at 505 to 490. They should give some form of relief back up here. And then we can try and get short for the move back down to 400. There it comes, good. All right, let's see here if they can come up a little bit. There's the New York Open, watching this carefully to get short into. I'm watching here, I'm watching 95s, and I'm watching towards 40s. Those are the areas I'm interested if buyers get stuck. Someone just got stuck there straight away. I'm short on that. Tiny size because it's not as high as I would like. Just versus that New York Open. And our next targets are going to be down towards 420s here. If we break lower. Yep, failed New York Open, exactly. $420s. I don't want to cover really here at fives. You might want to cover some here at fives. I just don't think it's worth it for 30 points. I'm going to try and wait for 420s. If we come back to New York Open, I'll cut the starter and then look if we get relief higher. But I'm trying to get down into here, folks. Semi's getting absolutely walloped right now, back to 125. So they've ripped up this morning to 34. They're already back to 25. Can we see the charts? Are you going to do it? Where are my semis gone? Oh my God, this fucking thing's broken, is it? Can't even put a symbol on it. Should we reload that? All right, there we go. That's semi-rip and pulling right back. All right, coming towards our targets here at 420s. And I've only got 2 micros on and we're up $500 right now. I'm covered one into that move. Holding one now. Am I short now? No, I was short New York. Previous day high here, 814s. Sorry, 414s, I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, that's the target, the blue box where I've covered one here. I'm holding runners. If we can build out some liquidity, I do think there's a chance to move lower today into 2s. So I'm trying to hold, and if we get under here, if we push back up, I'll consider an add. So there's 2 things here I'm looking for. This move again. All right, and I want to be careful of this move today, like we talked about pre-market. Semi's breaking down. They're going to come and test the 120. In they come. We should get a flush here if they keep moving to 120. There might be some front running. Previous day high here is your 414s, folks. I think we can move lower here. So I'm going to try and hold this. I've only got one little guy left. Here's previous day high. So cover some here. And now we'll see if we can break lower. See if we can get down here if we get very lucky. This is a big level like we talked about pre-market. This was the level. If we get lucky, we get a move into 2s. 260s if we get lucky. All right, semis are going to come and test 124, 125 here. 124, 20s to 125. They're going to be sold into on that move up because it would be the first bounce short, I would expect. Here we go. So hopefully we can break out lower here. VIX absolutely ripping. Like I said, I didn't trust that move back down. It's coming to 17.5. 18s is the target for VIX. This is its first target here, 17.5. Hopefully it goes 18s. Here we go. We should break lower here, like I said. And hopefully we can sweep out Globex and come back down into this. It'd be really nice to get that on a runner. Would have been nice if we gave us an entry at the high instead of just melting. At least we got the New York Open entry. I'm actually a bit late on it. I came in at 62s. Here we go. So we're watching 360s here, and then we're watching for 220s, 300 to 220s. Don't want to reclaim a previous day high. If we reclaim that, I might take the runner off and then add back in if there's a squeeze back out. Almost there, folks. Almost to the next TP. 363s and then 220s, all right? If you've got enough size. I don't have enough size, so they might need to come back upside for a squeeze before they do much more after that. If we reclaim previous day high here, I'm going to cut it, let it squeeze out, and add back in. There we go. I'm out now, and I'm going to let this rise up and then add back in. Hopefully it doesn't just waterfall for the rest of the session without me. And hopefully it come back up here and give me an add opportunity. Evals pass, yeah, nice work, folks. I mean, that was... How many points did we get there? It wasn't bad. It wasn't ideal, but it wasn't bad. All right, 200 points. All right, if you get lucky, you're going to come down here. You're going to get 355 points. I'm hoping we get a drive back up before we come back down there. So what I'd like to see is a squeeze back up into this before this. If it's going to be cruel to me, it's going to just it's going to just come down here without me. It's fine. It's a good day, nonetheless. It would have been nice if they give us a setup here, though. All right, it would have been nice if they give us the setup here. That would have been nice, or even here. But just that straight slam. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. At least we got that. Thank goodness we got that. All right, you guys are in this on this. Salty Alex. We're coming into TPs now. All right, there's your overnight low taken. Your previous week closed is your next potential target, 282s. Previous day closed, 240s, basically. Previous week low, 212s. All right, so this is a big area down here now, folks. And we would expect the H1 to hold, I'd say, between 250s and 170s. If it doesn't do that, we're then going to rotate all of value as well. And like I said, semis, we're going to come and back test 124-ish and fail. They came up to 123.70s and failed. They're back at previous day high. A new low of days here. You're almost there, folks. You're almost there. Big sellers at these lows. Be careful. I would expect some form of bid to come in as we come into these levels. All right. This is like a big SNR sort of block down here. So you'd expect some form of relief. There is a seller at that low right now. I think they might want to come previous week close. It just depends if they give relief first before they come back down. PWC is 282s, PDC is 236s, PWL is 212. So here's the first sign of relief. There are a lot of sellers down here, folks. So if they start squeezing up here, those guys are going to get forced to cover. Just be careful if you're managing your position soon. You want this to stay heavy. It must stay heavy for you. Into previous day high here on the Soxal. I wouldn't be surprised if a bid starts forming down here, like I've talked about a few times already, and comes back upside. And you can watch it, how it comes back into 415s or maybe even 500s. And the selling started at 74s, 64s, 46s, and the big boy is at 237s, and he's stuck. Here's the relief. All right, and they break through here, you're going to see a squeeze up. I know the yields. I know. I can see it on my screen, mate. I can see it. Up over almost 1% on the 30, 1.28 on the 10. Yeah, they're all breaking out. It's a problem for the market. So we talked about pre-market, didn't we? We were like, that doesn't look good. There's a problem. That's the first thing I said. All right, starting to see first response from buyers down here, only because we're into a key level and those sellers are now a little bit caught lower day. It doesn't. I think it will move lower. It just, we might need to move higher first, right? It's been a big drop. Thank you again. Second day in a row being locked out by my profit target. Nice work, man. Nice work. Lovely work. Here's the start of the relief. Now this blue box will be important. If they don't sell this, I expect to drive right back into 500s, maybe even 578s. There you go, there's the sell. I'm just going to be patient now and just figure out what it is it wants to do. It's been a nice start to the day. Hopefully we can come up a bit further and then we can look for a reshort entry. What we do need to be careful about is, I did talk about pre-market, is this kind of move here. All right, what we need to be careful about, if we come lower first, no, that's not what I'm doing. If we come lower first, all right, and then we reclaim this, that's pretty bullish, right? If we don't take this out first and we come up, that's a chance to sell. It really depends what low-hanging fruit they leave. Run it over on my chair. Almost into your blue box, almost closed the gap down here, almost into value. Sorry, I see a few of you just started up, just bought the course. Try and get you set up in Discord. All right, starting to see a little bit of bottoming down here. Still think relief is due in this market at the moment from down here, only because we've sold so aggressively. We haven't hit all the targets yet, but for me, I'd like to see some relief before I sell. We've already had a big move. ES now under P previous day close, so that's your over under right now. You can watch a reclaim of 780s, or you can watch a failure all the way down to 446s. Semis are holding previous day high right now. If they fail previous day high, PDC and the zero line is down towards 115, 114. Like I said, I'm flat now. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the next opportunity. How many Discord members? I think we're approaching 600 or something. I'll remind you this morning, pathing was here. We've actually had a lot of these already. All right, so we've already had this drive up to 8s. We failed 8s, we failed 6s. We're down here now. All right, so we've done this move here into this move here. We want to be careful down here because they can find a bid around these 2s like I put in. All right, if we lose the 2s, then we can think about rotation. But I think we're going to be very careful about this move here back inside to 4s, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to come from 2s to 4s right now. And if they can come higher, we can back test some of this. Remember, it's still not even 10 o'clock yet. We're not even half an hour in, folks. Just think about that H1. I'm going to remind you guys because I keep like hammering on about that so you guys understand. Think about what we've done on the H1. Right? We've added more sell side liquidity up here. We failed, but we're holding this pivot. All right? They can hold this. If they reclaim that, it's pretty bullish. If they fail this, there's a retest of this coming. All right? This is why I'm saying just be cognizant of this, because the H1 levels are very, very, very important right now. As you saw yesterday when I started bidding and people were trying to tell me it was a sell, and I was like, no. The grey box yesterday was a buy, and that was the buy down at 28,000. Well, look, we were 800 points higher this morning. The buy now, sell arrows on the chart, they're just the flow zones. They're just based on momentum. Just based on momentum. They're a little bit late today because it's so steep and so fast. We went flat, 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 and until it crossed, it took a while. All right, rejecting here at the moment. This is like quite a big over-under at the moment. This is where we're pinned. Just check if they've moved any of these levels. So messy today, man. I'll remind you also on the daily where we rejected, just in front of this. Fortunately, we didn't quite get there. Would have liked to have got up there and then seen this move here. And I think we can build out here for a day or two and then make a decision if we're doing relief or we're coming back down to new lows, because this is a relief rally. Structurally, we're still under this. We still haven't reclaimed anything. We're getting pretty bullish if we reclaim that though. But it's just a big relief rally. Don't get too excited, bulls. Do not get too excited. We haven't done anything high time frame yet of meaning. Data coming yet? 10 o'clock news right here, right now. All right, semis reclaiming. We'll see if those can come back up for that test of 124, 125 or not. We are just still stuck down here. You see how the market slowed down now. These are important levels. Why for me now, I'm pausing because what have we gone in? Think about it. What's this? It's a range. All right, we're building out liquidity in the range. Now we're either going to see a breakout, fail breakout, breakout, fail breakout. One of these is going to develop. Thanks, Alex. I'm going back to sleep. Yeah, nice one, mate. Hopefully you got some of that. I hope you're good, buddy. You're long, where should I take profit? Well, I don't know where you're long from. I have no idea where you're long from. You need to help me out. Where are you long from? I don't see a long setup really in here at the moment. Unless you're buying these edges down here. If you're buying these edges down here, then you need to be selling these edges up here and then just holding a runner. And you've got to have hard risk on that. It's a tough buy. It's a very tough buy. Momentum's still heavy. How do you plot the blue and red lines? Well, you understand edges, rejection points, SNR points, low volume nodes on higher time frames. All right, there's previous week close. Just tagged it and held. Blue box. There is an awful lot of selling down here, and we are not moving aggressively lower right now. Not yet, anyway. VIX coming for its 18s test. Now, under this blue box is current week value area high and previous day value area high. And if we lose those, we will start to go into rotation. And if we lose 28,200 and we stay heavy around 28,200 to 28,000 is possible. Let me just check the expected move to the downside because I didn't actually look at it. 27,963. $27,974. What was end of day? Where have you gone? $7,723, 121, 126. So I would say 121 to 126. So here. Is a level on what's the outer edge right now? 723. Fucking hell, mate. That's right into value area low from the current week. Well, I'm just going to leave that where it is. Pardon my French. That's crazy. We're going to rotate, potentially rotate. What that's basically saying is, in this market today, options traders said, because of the how big we were yesterday, the upside of the move potential was up here and the downside is here. This is like 1,300 points. Holy moly. All right, red box stayed heavy. Drift down, here's PDC, so we're about to close a gap. I should have held my runner, shouldn't I? And we'll see how low this goes now. ES, like I said, I think ES was coming down either 445 or 430 here. Semi's new low of day here. They want 114s, 115s. Mags into key level. VIX breaking out through the 18s. So next stop for VIX is that upside drive back to 19s. So if it holds a bid over 18s, it can go back up to 19s here on the VIX. Oh, why didn't you just hold something, Alex, eh? What did I say my stop was? Previous day high. You fucking numpty. It's an extra 200 points there for just putting your stop a little bit higher. Story of my life. All right, previous week low here. It was a dead cat bounce on the daily. Well, it was a relief rally. Yes, you can call it a dead cat bounce. We don't know if the bottom's in. It's going to depend really on how we close today and how we open next week. But I mean, the daily is still bearish. This is what I'm saying. Like, it was a good push up, but the daily's still bearish. The hourly has the ability to start to go bullish as we come into these levels. It doesn't have to, though, does it? You know, and this is where we will start to make some decisions. Some positive delta at those lows, absorbing sellers down there again. So they held previous week low. We didn't quite take it out. Where could I get short now? Maybe threes. 315s maybe. Mag breaking down. Into put support here. First put support for spiders. ES got a little longer to go. New lows on semis. Like I said, they want 114, 115 right now. If they break 112s, it gets nasty. On the semiconductors I'm talking about specifically. Remember, this is the expect to move, this purple box. And beyond that, they're suggesting we can come right down to 700s. We'll see. So we're back inside previous day's value now, folks. And we're now at to previous day's point of control. This is the most traded area yesterday. And we are coming right down into the expected move, and it's possible. I'm not going to rule out a move all the way down to previous day value area low at the moment, because we are just moving fast right now. All right, semis now closed the gap. So they've just gap filled on the semiconductors. Little reaction there after the gap fill by the looks of it. They're actually a tiny bit short of the gap fill. They're almost there. What did we say? 115s to 114s. That's what they're coming for. They're almost there. We'll see what happens at this expected move. Okay, spy through the 445s. I'm salty. I didn't hold that runner now. And we're coming into 430s now. Big sellers stepping on the tape here. They're continuing to sell. Here's the 14s on semis. There are huge sellers down here. You want to be very aware of this if you're still holding a runner. They just came in very aggressively at 50s, 55s, and 68s. And we are now at expected move. And we've just found a little bid at that expected move for the first time. Doesn't mean we don't move lower. Remember, if we move lower, they've said we can move to 700s if we move lower. But this is the first sort of point where options traders are saying, hey, maybe this is enough. And there's the 114s on the semiconductors tagged. Mag's trying to find a bid. Remember, lots of selling came in between 71 and 50 here on the NQ. I'm not going to rule out this move down here. It seems like common sense at the moment that it might want to come down there if it loses the expected move. So if you're holding runners, cover some here. See if you can get down into this. I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to buy today, I tell you that much. This is heavy, heavy, heavy tape. But we are coming to some levels. We'll see how we set up. There's still liquidity lower at the moment to search for. This is where all these sellers are. They've all piled in here. We're through those sellers now. If we hold these bids up, there's a part of me that's like thinking if we hold a bid, will I be bothered? No is the answer. Why bother? All right, here's the move to 100. Semi's getting nuked now, well under the 114s. If they lose the 112s here, they are in big, 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 big trouble on the semiconductors if they lose 112s. More selling at these lows. The panic is starting here, folks. Five-day coming up for the SPY. Oh, I'm just salty that I'm not still short. I'm so salty. What did I get knocked out by? This guy here. Are you serious? So I got knocked out by like 5 points. That's tough. It's tough on the ego. Tough on the ego. If you're still short, be careful if they break above 70. All right. And then you're going to leave sellers trapped at lows. I'm not telling you to long. I'm just saying if you're still short, be careful if they start breaking above 170 here, because you will leave liquidity at lows. There's a significant amount of selling down here. And they're trying to protect it. They're selling 160, 170, 180 right now. Just be careful. Semi's finding a bid. Back through 114, back to 115. So they swiped. This thing might start seeing that upside relief out of that expected move. Be very careful here if you're still short. I'm warning you now. You want to be moving your stop down to protect some of this. Here it goes. It's starting to break the 70s. They hold the bid here. You're going to see relief start. Here it comes. They're starting on semis. Mag still being sold, so no bid on mag yet, but semis is now up to 116s. Here's the relief through the 170s, and this can start pumping up towards previous day value area high, maybe even higher. So hopefully I've saved you some money on your shorts there. Tyson trade, again, mate, we haven't even set the initial balance. What are you talking about? Well, I don't understand when people say it and it's not even been set yet. Like, it's not even been set yet. I'm just watching this hourly right now. All I've focused on right now is this. How do we act here? If we lose that, this. Imagine there'd be I'm surprised there hasn't been some form of bid already. But maybe they need to rotate the whole of yesterday's value. Yesterday's value was here. There's your overnight gap. There's back to the top of yesterday's value. Here's lower of yesterday's value, which is also this. If they lose this, they're in so much trouble. If we do this move, they are in so much trouble, the buyers. So much pain they will be in. Right, ES into its 30s. SPY into its 5-day. Semis are trying to find a bid down here. Did they undercut or not? Yes, they did. I wouldn't be surprised if semis start to find a bid around here. Even just a short-term bid. I'm not talking about a massive bid up. I'm talking about just like a short-term relief bid. Would not surprise me. Some kind of retest towards 118s to 120s. And that might lift this market up a little bit. And then we can see what we do once we do that. Remember, we've done a very, very big move lower here. And we haven't come and tested any of this. This can flip now as well. Ideally, we come up here. Next move will be around 27,790, you're saying? Or 28,000 first, right? Previous day value area low, previous current week point of control. And then all the way down here. Yes, they said 700 is on the options chain. I'm basically going to say 7s to 6s is a big level. you look at the H1, that W breakout that we did, and we never retested it. Remember, yesterday we were looking for a pullback to retest down towards there, and it never came. We just squeezed out of it. So we do lack structure. Once we get under this grey box, right, there isn't much structure, because yesterday, right, we squeezed and we squeezed. This is just one big candle, basically, or two big candles, hourly candles. There's a lack of structure down there. This thing's just melting away. More sellers at these lows. It's dump everything time. Well, the question is, are we coming for this if we lose the grey box? And if we are, is it going to let us get in? Right, huge sellers came in at 109 and at 90s there. 115 lot and 184 lot. And those sellers at the lows currently are caught. I'll watch this at 70s. If they broke over 70s, hopefully we get relief, and then don't know if I'll long. I might just wait for the squeeze to finish and then look for the short. Probably a safer option. I'll see how we set up on the tape here. If we can come up to 70s. Here it comes. All right, sellers are now caught, officially caught underneath. And the big seller is at 67. So if we base over that, maybe I'll consider some relief long. But what I'm more interested in is how far it can squeeze to then get short into it. So there's the 70 test. Not through it yet, so nothing to do yet. Watching here, look, I can show you here, folks. Right, these guys here, these big sellers came in at the lows, currently being absorbed. Now there's lots of imbalances to fill, like I talked about, and that was from yesterday. This big seller here is what I'm watching, 67s. So if we're going to get relief, we're going to have to get over 67s for the move to 250s, right? So over 70s for a move to 260s. Otherwise, we're just going to stay down here. Prediction for next month or two? Seb, I can't do that, mate. Mate, I can trade, but I'm not Nostradamus. Let me focus in here, and then we'll go to the daily and we'll have a think about it. I'll give you the possibilities, right, rather than predictions. Right, we're back up to that level again. If they hold here, there's a squeeze out. The question is how high. Here's the breakthrough. Let's see if they pull back and hold. Don't just squeeze without us if we're going to play this. Here comes the bid. Oh, it's just like go, 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 go. All the bid coming in. Go, 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 go. All right. We just tested previous day value area low. Value area high, sorry. We'll see. There's potential. It has potential to come here and then do this. And then there, we can either do this, or we can see that big relief. You can see it. This is the underbelly of it. All right, let's see if they want to hold. I'm still not in. Let's see if they want to hold this level. It's a big move from semis for that 120 check that I just talked about. They've already done it, which scares me to think about a long now. We think we've just done that relief move. We'll see. All right, let's try. I've got a small piece on. Let's try. Semis are going to need to hold a pullback to 16.5-ish. There we go. Nice. All right, let's see if we can get through previous week low and start pushing up towards this red box above. Stops in the money. Here we go. Nice, folks. It's 50 points already there if you want it. Previous day close here. You can take some partials here if you want. We'll see if we get a buck above this to the red box. And if we get really lucky, we'll get all the way up here. Peeling some off here into previous day close in case they reject it. Should make a new high here. Did we just repair that? I don't think we did. I think we should poke through this. We might need to pull back and reset here first, but we should make a new high here. That's a poor high. Hopefully they hold this little node at 90s. If we don't hold 70s, I'm out here, folks. I've already paid myself some for that 50-point move. It was over 50 points. This is the level. You got to hold this. You got to hold it. You got to hold it, or I'm out. Good hold. Nice. Nice. Good older 70s. Lovely. Up you go then. Stops going on that wick now at 75s. I don't want it under that. I don't care if it comes under it. I'm not going to hold. It's counter trend. Very hard trade. Very, very hard trade. Big bar coming in here. He might get us caught here. We need to break over 200 and a hold now because he's just come in and market bought 200. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Send it, 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 send it. Go, 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 go. Don't get stuffed up here. Go, 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 go. Let us run it. Let us get a run. Let's go. Get through that high. Here we go. Lovely. All right, let's see if we can get red box. If we get very lucky, we get view up here, but I'm just looking really to take more out here into 50s. $80s can be filled here. They're putting liquidity up there at 80s. So I'd say from 50s to 80s, we want to fill a bit more of a partial. Come on, a little bit more of a squeeze. Come on. Oh, you can't fill me at 50s. Right, marketing a little bit more out there. I think we can push up to 80s here. I just want to be careful. Stops now moved up to protect that buyer who came in at 05s. So 205. Stops moved up into 205s now. Keeping me in for now. Oh! Oh! It's like on me. That buyer absorbed. Kept me in by a tick. Let's go! Are you going to let me have a runner for once? Let's go! We haven't got that much more, just a little bit more. I'm on that buyer at 05. I'm gone. I was going to say, I'm on that buyer at 05s. I'm out now. That's it. All right, nice counter trend relief. Expected move held. Purple box. What do we talk about for semis? That they come for a back test of 120s. That's why we're going to look for the relief. Everything lined up. Some smart guy. Oh my God, what did we just hit? 120s. Okay, we just came up for the, there's your W shape. Neutral zone, previous day close, held, back test to 120s. It's a fight now where they do second leg, or if this is 2-leg and failure for new lows. Down into here, we're about to make the decision. That's why we played this relief up. The other reason we played the relief up is we'd hit the expected move, the purple box, and at the lows, we trapped a significant amount of sellers. Now, you might get a second leg here, right? So here are all the sellers at the lows, these numpties, selling the lows, selling the lows, selling the lows, selling the lows, selling the lows. 170 was our level to get above. We got above 170s. We're long back into this. This is what, oh, we can move this up a bit. This needs to be red now. If you're still long or you got re-long on that, you just want it to protect here. 173s. Certainly don't want it anywhere near down here again. You could protect value, I guess, 120s. But remember, this is counter trend. The main move is a sell, but we've come into an area where we're going to struggle to move much lower for the day. What's the purple box? It's an expected move, okay? It's the expected move for the day. So this is where most options traders think it's going to go. Based on yesterday, because the range was so big, it's possible we come to 700s today. But based on today's range and pre-market range, just want to make sure I've got that right. It is today and pre-market, isn't it? From the open, it said 908s possible. From pre-market, it said 29,021. From yesterday, it said 28,700. Is that just reloaded? Because that's not what it said a minute ago. What did we say? 125. Let's get this up. 125. Oh, here we go. From the open, 126. From pre-market, 121. From overnight, 7723. Yeah, so that from today's open and from pre-market, this was the maximum that we thought the move would go. Now, there's only, if we talk about a bell curve, it will only work 68% of the time. All right, there's always an anomaly. What is that, 8? 68% of the time. All right, there's always an anomaly. If we were going to drive lower today, we can't rule this out. Now, why am I paying extra attention to this today? It's a Friday. What happens on Friday? Expiries. Positive gamma or negative gamma? Well, we were in positive transition. We're probably into negative gamma now, I'd imagine. ES is not in negative gamma. We were in positive transition. There's your higher low. They can try and lift this up here now. I'm not going to have another go at it. It's been a good day. It's not going to force myself into anything more now. I'm just going to wait. We've had 2 really good trades. I'm a bit salty that I didn't hold that because we were short. Did anyone tell me the truth and do not lie? Please tell me the truth. Did any of you hold through this? Did any of you get 464 points out of that? Some of you did. Nice work. Those who did, great work. Great work. I mean, it's pretty funny, isn't it? When we think like a 200-point trade, we're like, oh, it's only 200 points. It's pretty good. Most YouTubers will get you 20. One of you saying trend is your friend. I know, that's why I'm very aware of what's down here, because if you're thinking everything's sell side, right? You tell me what this is then, mate. Do I want to be short there? Because if H1's going to decide that the low is in on the daily, then we're going to bid out of that, right? Now, what's happened on the lower time frame at that area? Oh, so if you're still trying to short this at the moment, well, you've come into the maximum probable move into an H1 level, into a pivot. You failed to break lower. You put your first higher low on of the day. Now, this LVN is what's important, right? Sellers need to sell that to try and get a 2-leg and break down. If they can't do that, you're going to see relief back up and a rotation, right? So we limit our trades based on knowing where we are on the H1. What do I always say? H1 is God mode. God mode. $600 lot bar at 220 is this guy. Yeah, 573 lot came in. 220s. Probably popping those stops, man. That's VPOC now. That's where all those short stops just got run out, basically. That's what just happened. So they became buyers on that move. I still think this LVN can be sold, but we'll see. We're going to have to pop up into it, build out some liquidity, trap some buyers for me to think about any more downsides. Otherwise, I'm not going to trade it. Love you, darling. Cheers. H1 is an hourly, yeah. So if you hear me say H1, hourly. H4, 4 hour. M1, 1 minute. All right, MAG coming back to VWAP. Semi's coming back to VWAP. They're at New York VWAP right now. Qs have got a little bit further to go. ES a little bit further to go. SPY a little bit further to go. And we'll see if they resell those levels, right, or not. Right, so there's the bottom. We called the bottom well today. It was actually a really good call for the bottom. If any of you are still in this, it's good. You need to be taking partials here, all right? This was our original target in this move. It's this LVN. You want to be getting rid of a good chunk of your long position into this because this can fail. I would expect sellers to be hanging out here. If you get lucky, you're going to get a move up to here, here, or here. But this is your low-hanging fruit for the counter trend long. That's your second leg. That's previous week close in there as well. It's a very important level. There's your first reaction out of it. Now remember, the big buy came in at 220s. That's what we're testing now. That's 700 lot buyer. And he just bid. So you're going to ping pong for a bit between 280 220, I think. Yeah, I see that 157 absorption up there. So we had a big positive delta and we closed heavy. So there's definitely sellers up there, as you would imagine. Just depends how many of them are left, how many of them they're going to chew through. MAG to VWAP. Semiconductors failing New York VWAP. So there might be a sell up here. If we can trap enough buyers, there might be a resell opportunity for a retest of a low. The difference is now all the low-hanging fruit's been taken. So we'd want to be very careful thinking about the short here. But if we can trap enough buyers up there, I would be interested. Now we've just seen absorption the other way around. So buyers are stepping in to absorb 220s now. It's going to be a battle here. We're going to have to let it play out for a minute or two. Remember, I'm going to remind you to zoom out. All right, we've moved a long way lower on the day and we've retested an H1 pivot. If this wants to come all the way up to here for a retest, it can. All right, just zoom out. All we've done is come into this, right? We're bidding out. We're either going to fail, come back down and retest this, or we're going to squeeze out to this. Could I do a video on how to interpret the H1? Yes, it's called the Flow Zone course, mate. I do a lot for free. I'm here every day for free. I'm sure I've explained it on stream many, many times, multi-time frame alignment. How did I see that was 157 delta up there? Because Spectra tells me. Alex, you need to buy a unicorn vest for Luna, mascot of the stream. Yeah, never wearing a unicorn vest. She's a little pit. I'm not putting her in unicorns. Get out of it. Am I in a position? No. No. We've been short this morning and we've been long relief. Right? I'm waiting right now to see if we fail up here or not, or if we're going to come to the next block. All right, it's very simple. We were short this morning for this. We were long this morning for this. Now I'm waiting. I'm not in any runners here, unfortunately. So I'm either expecting a failure here or here. All right, so either we're going to fail here or we're going to fail here. If we don't fail either and we base above this, then the squeeze is back on like Donkey Kong. But H1 would suggest it's potential to come to here right now. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to slip a little anchor on from this low, just to see how we compact between these two for a moment. All right, ES into New York VWAP. Semis are there, mags there, VIX getting crushed back down, back into a demand block here on the VIX. It's decision time. I'm waiting for some big orders to come on the tape. Not really seeing much. There's 100 lot sat at 300, but I'm not really seeing much at the moment. It's a gentle bid up. This would have to accelerate away and trap buyers to really interest me. We'd need a sell formation. Lots of confidence at 317. What would that be, this little node here? Is it a fib as well, JD? I know you like fibs. We'll see. That was a poke and fail up there through previous week close. We still haven't filled this 100 lot. What I would say is if we hold and build out, it's going to start to look dangerous for a bit of a quasi. Right? If they can hold this and they don't break down, it looks very dangerous for this move. More buyers got caught in that last shove up through previous week close. So at the moment they're struggling to hold a bid over 282s. I still think they want to come higher. There's a lot on the book higher, but we'll see. 350s. It's got room. I wouldn't be surprised if we just come all the way up to 400 and just get stuck between the two today. 93s, yeah, 400. We'll see. More absorption up here from sellers again, above previous week close. Starting to perk my interest here. We keep absorbing sellers up, absorbing buyers up here. Over previous week close, keeps absorbing. There's no doubt about it. They keep just turning around and coming back for it though. Again, absorption from sellers up there. We still haven't cleaned out the 300s. The only thing is that they're dangling a lot of like carrots here at 95s and 300s, and it's another seller coming in at 85s here. I let this like wash out a bit, but there is definitely some form of absorption up here. The question is how much size have they got and how long can they stand here trying to absorb the buyers, and do we see exhaustion? But you can see that previous week close, this little orange line right here on your screen. We can't get a close over it, and everything over that has been stuffed. Doesn't mean it can't move higher, but it's certainly at the moment everything over it's been stuffed. $395 is the 50%. Yeah, like just on the hourly makes me think that's where it wants to go. It doesn't do it in one go, right? But if we think about this has been our hold. That's the drive. That was the pivot. That's the fail break. That's the hold. That's the test of the pivot. That's what I've got in my head. That this is very possible right now. Yeah, and it is, you're right, it's 50%. Probably should have held those longs longer, shouldn't you, Alex? Should have held your short longer. Should have held your longs longer. No, Jack, we were long down here, mate. You don't want to get long up here. You're asking for it. You don't want to get long in here, mate. You are asking for it. We were long down here, buddy. It's too late to long now. You're too late. Even if it moves higher, what's your setup or reason for long here? What's your reasoning for it? Oh, you're still long. Roger that, my friend. Well, that's good. Just make sure you paid some because you're in this LVN. And it's not just an LVN on this time frame. It's on the higher time frames. It's on your current week. There's the failure. Above previous week close again. So back down to PDC. So they're doing the PDC to PWC like wish-wash here. If pops fail here, I'm going to be interested for that move back to lows. 220s is the level where the buyer came in earlier, remember? If they pop up anywhere back towards 260 and fail, I'm going to be interested in the short now. This is sellers coming back in. And if we flush 220 and stay heavy, I'll also be interested. See if they can come up for 260s here. Waiting to see if you come up to 260 for me. There's the anchored view up off the low. Waiting to see if they come back up here for me. And I want to see lots of buyers come in and then not be able to move the tape higher. And then I'll be short. They can't even get up there. Come on, come higher. There is a seller at 260. I want to see him get filled. Please come higher. Mags looks good for upside. Semis have pulled back to previous day high off the VWAP. If they hold previous day high, it's going to be a little dangerous for an inverted head and shoulders here on semis. I'm still waiting for this move to 260 to see it trap buyers. I will not sure if it does not trap buyers up at 260. Did we undercut that? Oh, we did. That could be a little bear trap. We'll be careful. Right, watching this now. Want to see these buyers get slammed. If they don't get slammed, there's nothing to do. You're just watching the tape. Still not in. They're still lifting. There's no turn yet. They're still lifting. First wiggle there. If they hold the bid at 260s, I'm not shorting. There's the bid hold. No trade here for me yet. Yeah, they're holding 260s now. Back to 260 check. Previous week close still being stuffed. Here's the 260s. Now buyers can hold this now because they've broken above. This is why I was interested in the short here. If they stuffed it, which they haven't. I'll show you on Bookmap. It's probably a good one for you to watch on Bookmap. Right, here's the lift into 260s. This is where the passive seller was. Okay, and we didn't stuff. We broke above and we've now held and trapped some selling in here. So this is the wiggle at 260. Now, if we come under this, they can rotate back down. If they keep holding this, this is a clear higher low and a build out to try and get to 300. This is why I'm watching this level here. Very, very important what happens at this level. Still flat. Nothing to do yet. Big sellers coming in here. Huge sellers coming in here. And they just got absorbed into 40s. The 300 lot just absorbed down there into 40s. My aircon's come on. Let me turn this. Oh, it's going to fly. Let me turn this off. It's freezing. Why does it do this anymore? Hey, don't go without me. All right, sellers being absorbed there into 40s. That delta would be probably pretty significant down there now. Let's have a little look. $41, 140 lot delta. It's not actually that much considering he was a 300 lot seller, or he's a 270 lot seller and another 100 lot seller. Here comes a squeeze. So it's a good avoidance of the trade there by understanding what was going on in the book. Yeah, mags are on a ripper. And semis just held that sort of quasi look, which is what I'm a little concerned about. If we go to a 5 minute, you see these blue line, the semis. If they're going to do this and go, this thing can move. But yeah, mag at higher day breaking out. All right, they filled the 300 player. Buyer trapped up there. 100 lot trapped at 300. I'm still watching these 60s kind of zone. And I'm watching the seller who got caught at 40s now. ES into 24-hour VWAP here. Semis look dangerous, man. Mags approaching higher day for the breakout. What's the next level after that? Let me just zoom this out. This is a big shelf here on the mags. 65s to 65.5. They get through that. We come up to Wednesday the 22nd. Big recovery, that would be. Do I use tick charts? The only place I'm watching ticks is on Bookmap, mate. It's a minute chart, but it's the only place where I'm watching ticks and delta. Otherwise, I'm using timed-based charts. Dixie, yeah, Dixie's found that bid. It's found that bid at the moment, but we'll see. The next 2-3 sessions are going to be really, really important for what this market's going to do long term. Someone did ask me earlier. Let's go back to that question. All right. We have come into key pivot. 200-day 2025 high. All right. We found a bounce on key pivot. We're coming up to test where we broke down from support, 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 support. It's our first test of it. Resistance. Come back inside. We can now build liquidity out in here. The decision is going to be made. If we get back above here and we hold a pullback, then we're probably going to look for an upside push. If we get back up here and we reject and we do this dance and make a lower high and start coming back to low, then I think we'll probably take out this pivot low. And then you got to watch out below, really, because if we start getting really weak in here, right, we can see this kind of move back to point of control for 2026. I mean, this is where all the volume is. And that would still only be an 18% correction, 18.5, which is quite big, but you know, we're at 13s now. 10% is 10 to 12% is your average correction. That's bear market territory. But given how stupid this move is, it wouldn't surprise me that much. But we'll see. Maybe just a wick and an undercut and then go. I'm looking for this. Something like that, or even this. Q4 into 2027. Right? Once we get through the election nonsense, I'm looking for that. Unless the market completely melts and, you know, rates have to keep going up and we have inflationary pressure and we have a 2008 kind of debt problem. Okay, then, you know, we lose this and everything changes. All right, there's VWAP. I have to wait for this move up here now. We have to wait for that 400s we talked about. High day mag. And this can now hold potentially. Do we remove that? What's the edge? I'm going to remove it so it's easier to see. Should have held the longs. Anyone still in any of that long from down here? Yeah, some of you still holding. Nice work. Nice work. Right, SPY into its pivot at 480 here. If you start getting back above 480, 485 and holding, it's very, very, very bullish for a recovery. It's a V-shaped recovery at that point, which is basically the equivalent of this red box. Looking for 380 exit on your longs. So hopefully you get it. Hopefully you get it. Come, they're trying to bid now. You should get it. They get this 50-60 break, you should get it. The little node here they're trying to get through. There's an imbalance here, I will tell you. There's an old imbalance here into 54s. This is where we started like really building out a lot of liquidity earlier in the day. There was a lot of activity here, both buy side and sell side, between 315s and basically 400. There was a huge amount of activity. What made me enter on the long? Down here. Okay, this purple box is our expected move for the day. All right. Once we came down here, we trapped. There was a huge amount of market selling. This is a break and hold. So once we did that and we got back above the 70s, it meant that all the sellers down here were stuck, which means they're going to be forced to do what? Cover. When they cover, they become market buyers. So all the holds of down here then trap these sellers where they have to exit. This is thin, and we expect to drive up to here, here, and here, which is what we got. That's your relief rally. All right, I'm going to focus in on this now. I've fucking got caught teaching, haven't I, when it's just moved. Oh my God. The size of this move. Let's see if we can come back up for a retest and fail. Buyers can still hold this into 86s. Let's see if we can pop up and fail here. There's buyer exhaustion at the highs. I cannot believe I've got caught teaching there. Let's see if we can come up towards 20s or something and see if they stuff it. Fail breakout on the mags there. This is it. I don't want to chase. This is it. This is it. Here it goes. All right. If you did get any of this, you want to be covering some into 50s, 20s, 50s, 20s. Yeah, 55s, 20s, and then see if you can fill the imbalances down at 160s. And I missed it from teaching. Fucking typical. Absolutely typical. Trump live in 4 minutes. Guys, does anyone know how to get rid of this? It keeps saying application permission to storage access. I've never, ever, ever had it until the last few days, and that's what's stopping me doing a lot of stuff. Does anyone know how to change that? Anyone got any ideas? It just keeps coming up now. Yes, I can see the chart. We're coming back to that area I'm watching, but the reaction's strong at the moment. I'm watching it. It would have to be buyer's court here for me to take it. I'm watching it very carefully. They're still printing. Buyers have come back in to support 300 now. I'm not going to short this. Big, big reaction. Still high, low, and recovery of node. They look like they want more to me. The order flow is telling me it wants more at the moment. If we start coming back under 320, I'll consider it. But at the moment, it looks like it wants more. Mag's just held its pullback as well. Semi's still stuck at VWAP. And let's see. Under 320s. Buyers absorbed there. 85s. Fucking hell, this thing's moving quick. 50 points in like 30 seconds. Less than. They just absorbed sellers down here. Well, the 150 lot just got absorbed down there. More sellers just came in there, still being absorbed. Every drop they keep trying to sell, and they're getting absorbed. And you see on Bookmap here, another 352 lot in here at 300s. Sell side. Right, look at this at the low. 293 lot, 352 lot, and we're not moving lower. There's a passive buyer trying to walk this up at the moment. I'm not going to fight him. No way am I fighting someone that big who can keep absorbing the tape. But remember, it's Friday. You've have to remember it's Friday. Expiries and stuff. So it's a lot about the mags right now. If they're going to break out of this high, Semi's still trying to put in a higher low and try and get back through the VWAP at the moment. But mags are trying to break out through this high at the moment. That's what we've got to watch. If mags get that breakout, you're going to see a continuation upside probably. If they can't, if they get a failed break and the semis roll over here, then you're going to see weakness. I'm just trying to be really patient. This is the area where sellers keep coming in, getting absorbed. This is perking my interest now more. There's so much liquidity higher though. Right, this is where the seller last was, 85s, previous week close. If we pop up and sell 300 here, I might put a starter on. Mag's still holding though. It's a bit iffy. Didn't even make it to 300. Can we pop up to 300 here? All right, in we go. Let's see what they do with it here. Still so much liquidity at 50s. Back through their sellers again. Still nothing to do. If they hold this, nothing to do. If we fail, okay, I put one on because we come back under. There's a very tight stop here. I'm going to use that wick high at 07s. I'm short here now versus 07s. We are absorbing these lows though. Out. They just absorbed the lows again. So they let it come a bit deeper and absorbed again. It's just a big battle here now. So we've sold 1, 2, 3 times there at 02s and to 86s. They stuffed it, let it come under PWC and then bid straight back up and then are pushing the stuff again. Back to this absorption level again, previous week close. It feels close, it's just so iffy in this node. It'd almost be better for it to break out at this point. It's built out so much, so tight. I don't have to overtrade. This would be my third trade of the day, waiting to see if I can get a starter on for a move. I don't think it's overtrading, taking one short, one short from here to here, one long from here to here, and waiting to see if there's a short back down. I don't think that's overtrading. Get off my back, man. putting a starter on to see if we flush. It's not overtrading, bud. Come on. I'm not here clicking buttons. Same level, previous week close here again. Feels close, man. Feels close to doing the flush. So this is the level they keep absorbing. So 280 is being absorbed by passive buyers, and 300 and above keeps getting stuffed by sellers. And they've still got liquidity up at 350 if they want to fill it. 400 is still the main level, 380 to 400. So they can still, if they have a shove up here, it's going to be much better for the market altogether. But we've gone into inside consolidation in here now. This is where it's getting tight, and you can see this being built out, and this being built out, and this being built out, and it's going to actually make that move there very hard. So if we can accelerate away, we'll have a bit more room. Now if we accelerate and build over this, I'm not going to rule out that move all the way back up. There we go, good. Hopefully it can accelerate out of here now. Trump's live. Is he actually? Well, that might be the end of my day if he's live. Get it up. So it's Camp David meeting, right? Is it that? I thought, for some reason, I thought that was at lunch. I didn't think it was now. Get out. Keeps rejecting this thing should drop. I mean, you got to understand, mate, it's both sides. All right, there is a big guy down here absorbing it, trying to get the force up. They are selling every pop as well. All right, it's just going to depend who wins out of this big buyer and this passive seller. I would actually rather the buyer wins so that we can move up here and then think about what's next, because it gives better structure. It's going to be nasty in here if we just sit in here for too long. Everything's flat in here. We just keep finding a bid here as well on current week value in this blue line. Previous week close, current week value area high. Without a doubt, someone is down there absorbing the tape. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I've got the stream up for Trump if he starts. It is the Camp David. I thought it was at lunchtime. I didn't think it was now, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, Mags failing again up there at the highs, but still holding a bid. Semi's just stuck at these 120s. We've just been barcoding 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes barcoding on semiconductors right now. But if they hold the bid here for long enough, a 125 check is possible. What was the edge of pre-market? 124.30s. Not going to rule that out. Again, back to previous week close here. Again, someone on the tape trying to hold this market here. Once he goes, there'll be a flush. But until he goes, it just depends how much size he's got. How much can he hold? Here he comes. He's out. Now, does he reabsorb now? This is the same trade I wanted to short. So we'll see now. Buyers can protect 252s. If we pop and fail 80s, I'll consider it. If you took this is your cover into 50s, right? You want to be selling some into 50s. Sorry, covering some of your short into 50s, and then looking for 220s. I'm not in it. This is the same move I was looking for, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. If they sell 282s, I'd be interested. There is an unfinished auction higher at 315 still, so I want to be very careful that this isn't a grab and go. Remember, we keep finding a bid. This is why I'm saying you need to cover down here. Here's your LVN. All right, and here's your anchored VWAP. And they keep trying to bid this. They did just stuff that. I just got caught teaching. Again, Alex, you just got caught teaching when you should have put a position on. Oh, I'm starting to annoy myself now. That was your same move, 80s to 50s. That just gave it to you like that in, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. That was it. There, some of you got it. Well done. Right, they're bidding now 50s, 65, 70s, trying to walk up now. I've missed my opportunity here, I think. Here they are trying to bid. Yeah, that, I mean, I don't have a. I know what you mean. The prop firms with the 10-second minimum trade rule. It is bullshit when we move this quick. It is, but oh, there you go. All right, you might get 20s now. So you want to be covering some 20s here, 50s, 20s, and then your runners are back down to this, folks. God damn it. Only on a few of the prop firms. I can't remember which ones it is. But some of them do have like a 10-second rule. I mean, most of the time it's fine, right? But like, if you get if sometimes the market moves fast, so it's just a bit harsh having that. Right, here's your next cover into 20s. This is previous week low. Pay yourself a good chunk here. All right, and if you're lucky, you come further down. We're not looking for too much more in this market. We're not expecting to break lows necessarily today. But now you're positioned short, right, from this break. Just had to wick me out a few times first. From this break, right, your position short, your TP1, your TP2, your TP3, your TP4. We don't really need a new low. We don't expect it to put a new low in because there has been a lot of selling down there. So we're just looking to trade to this edge here, cover some. If it reclaims, it reclaims. This edge here might very well be protected, which is why we said 20s. Okay. It's also previous day value area high, remember. So this is yesterday's range. And if they want to try and migrate value back up, they will try and hold it. So you're short 80s, you covered 50s, you covered 20s. So you got 60 points so far. You can hold a runner to see if it bleeds. How did I know to enter the trade at 80s to 50s? Because of just what's on the tape, mate. Because of the players that are stuck on the tape. So once we let go of previous week, I can try and explain here. All right, let's try and do it on here for a change. All right, in here, in the 80s, every time we came in here, there was strong selling and strong selling and strong selling and strong selling and strong selling, which meant in there was a big boy, a whale, okay, who's absorbing the tape. Now, like I kept saying, it depends, has he got endless money? Now, once he can't absorb the tape anymore and we break, instead of him being a buyer, he becomes a seller. We get that flush. We flush down to 50s because it's a key level from earlier, all right? And 20s was also a key level from earlier, right? If we reclaim 80s now and he holds, then he's just used that liquidity, come back inside, and he can try and drive back higher again. So they have to be snap trades when you're trading like that, because the low hanging fruit has gone. Remember, the low hanging fruit is gone. For the shorts today, have we hit the expected move? Yeah. Okay, there's one. Did we close the gap? Yeah. Have we hit yesterday's value area high? Yeah. How about POC? Yeah. How about the H1 level? Yeah. All right, so there's not that much more to play for downside. So we have to be careful. Unlike here, where there was no liquidity built, the difference is now we've built out some structure. All right, so when we get short, we better respect the structure that's been built out, haven't we? Otherwise, what are we trading? We're just making stuff up. Make it easier, like this off. All right. There's your LVN and previous day value. The short was down to there. What do we have here? Sellers are trapped down here. 70s break was the hold, right? So the maximum I would have expected on this move was 70s. Beyond that would have been luck, right? We held LVN. Now we're coming back upside. And now I imagine it's got a very good chance of getting up here now. Very good. Because now it can do this move here. Right? It's all about this. That's your break. These are your covers. Now it's a reclaim. Now if they hold, this is possible. This is supply right now. This is the LVN. Yeah? Trade's gone for me, so I'm not going to look for anything right now. Statistically, we almost always break IB high or low. Well, maybe, but how many of those statistics, and I'm not saying you're wrong, how many of those statistics include a 648 point range? Go and check that. I reckon not many. I'm not saying we don't break the lows. I'm just saying is 650 point range today. No, I can't see anything for Trump. I've got the hill open and there's nothing for him yet. We're just going to go and burn all the options now, all the way into lunch, I think. Yeah, so abnormal ranges. So I would say, I don't know this for a fact. I haven't checked with Claude or anything, but I would say when we have huge IBs, it's then less likely that we break it, right? Because a mean reversion back inside is probably more probable, but we'll see. Like, we will see. It might very well continue to break low and dive lower and come into that grey box underneath, right? Maybe it comes back to here. Maybe we rotate the whole of value. Yeah, I don't know the stats on that. I couldn't tell you, but I would imagine the stats become diminishing the bigger the range is. Hey, I'm over the profit target on my 50K. I used your code. In 3 days when I meet the 5-day requirement, will I have to pay an activation fee? Well, I don't know which prop firm you're talking about, mate. Oh, TPT. No, there's no activation fee on TPT. So if you've hit the profit target, then what you need to do is the next 3 days, you need to trade those next 3 days, right? You can just literally go micro on, micro off. That's all you need to do. But you do need to trade those 3 days, and there will be no activation fee. And it's passed my first Apex eval today. Thanks a lot for all the hard work you do. You're welcome, mate. Good work. Good work, everyone. Yeah, it's been a solid week. We've had to be patient. It's not been the easiest week. It's been a really good week, but I would say that the opening drive moves have made things harder than they need to be, shall we say. All right, Mag keeps failing at the highs, but finding bids at VWAPs. Semis keep failing VWAP, but finding bids at previous day high. And VIX looks like it's trying to get ready. It's holding 1750s and it's trying to get ready for an upside push at the moment by the looks on it on VIX. But if they break down on VIX, then it's got a 17 retest here. We just pinned right now. What about Apex Tradeify? What do you mean, Brandon? Like, is it any good? Yeah. That's what I use. I use Tradeify for all my connections, personally. Oh my god. I'm not even going to answer some of this. It's all about this build out right now on the mags. Mags is trying to build out for this, which is dangerous. Semis look like they want to turn down. VIX looks like it wants to break out. It just depends what we're going to do. We're trapped between anchored VWAP off the low and New York VWAP at the moment. Semi's back to previous day high here. I asked about TIX charts earlier. From lots of stuff I've read, they are good to watch. What is your reason for not using them? Because I don't need to use them. I trade order flow, so it doesn't really matter whether I'm using a 1 minute or a 500 tick or 1,000 tick. It doesn't really matter, because all I'm really looking for are S&R levels and outlying delta at key points. The candle's kind of irrelevant, if I'm honest. All right, back to this 220 level, which is where that big buy came in earlier. So if you were short, you need to cover here. You need to be covering some here. This is the edge of this range, this little shelf. This is 220s. This is where that huge buy came in earlier. It's 477 not buy side delta at 220s. Previous week low. Am I going to regret not being in this? If they fail this, you can look for that downside pressure move. I'd be very careful with this LVN here and previous day value area high. It's a very dangerous area. It's also previous week low. So it's previous week low, LVN, and previous day value area high. There you go. That buyer's just stepped in again. Same guy from earlier. All right. This guy here from earlier. All right. If we come under him, he's in pain. So we're going to watch his position here. Semi starting to fail here under previous day high. VIX, like I said, looks like it wants that upside pressure. It's just the mag here. They're still holding VWAP. This looks like the break attempt here versus 220s. I'm going to watch this carefully. Zoom in here a little bit. 220, 240s are the levels. They're bidding 200s. There's 220 reclaim. I'm going to watch here to 240s. There's still an unfinished auction at 270s. Are they going to stuff this shelf or not? Still absorption down here at the moment. Watching this 220. I'm going to watch 220, 240 to see if they stuff it. If they don't stuff it, then I'm going to assume we're going to go 270s and then go back inside all the range again and just chop this. I mean, it's not really a D, but like this profile here. So the question is we going to do this or are we going to do this? All right, there's the 220 stuff. I'm short versus 220s. If we break 220s, I'll cut and I'll re-look at it at 240s. Very tight stop here. Here we go, 200 break. Can we get under this 200 guy? Absorb him again. There's 100 lot down there. Once we break him, I think we can go 180, 150 pretty quick. There's 100 lot again here. Can we break him? Nice, good break. All right, covering some because there's a huge seller to break that. And we'll see if we can get down to 150, 180 and 150. Here we go. I would like to see these sellers walk down. They're trying. Mag into VWAP up here. We've got to be careful of a bid here on mag. Just let this work. Stops at 220. Let's see. Paid some, so we'll see. Nice. Good sellers. Go, 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 go. 180, 150. Let's go. Let's go. All right, moving stop down to protect 200 now. But paid some here into this 180. Next level's 150 and then lower day. Boom. 180s. Boom. More sellers in here. Let's see if we can get 150 and lower day. Mag at VWAP. Semis approaching lows. Come on, can you give us 150s? You going to be kind to us? Can we get a runner to go today? Let's go. Fill me down there, motherfucker. Give me 150s. Give me 150s. Give me 150s. Don't you fucking dare. Give me 150s. Ah, let's go. All right, let's see, baby. How much juice this thing's got. I do not expect it to move under here. It very well might, but I don't really expect it to. But it's very well, maybe we get this grey box. Why all the F-bombs? Because I fucking want to. That's why. Because it's my fucking stream. And I will do what the fuck I want, motherfucker. All right, well, if you don't like it, you know what to do. You can off, can't you, son? No one's asked you to be here. Don't worry. You're moaning and bitching when I just gave you an absolute fucking 100-point trade and you're moaning and bitching about me swearing. Get out of it, mate. No one asked you to be here. I can just remove you just as easy. I don't give a fuddly fuck. Get out of it, mate. All right, let's see if we break lower here. Can we get this runner to go for lower day? Can we get that grey box? Don't really expect it, but we'll see. This is into expected move again. How low can we go? How low can we go now? There's the bid off the expected move. Oh, watch this little node. 50 to 70. Otherwise, we might lift all the way back up. Semi's finding a bid off their zero line, 114s. Mag's coming back down. So we expect a bid back up here. We'll see. Remember, we're at the edge of value now. Wouldn't mind getting some more size on here if it will let me. What's this level here? 212s, 170s. We'll see. I'm targeting IB low, and then I'm going to target this box, 28 thou. And remember, potentially today, 27,700. I really don't expect that, but we can't rule it out. And they're starting to try and hold the bid here at value at 30s. I would like to see if we're going to pop a lift higher for me to resell into. And they're selling 80s and 90s right now. I'm watching these 80 and 90s push here. And then I'm also going to watch all the way back here to 220s. But I think we're going to build out to sell. See if we can lift up a little bit more so I can put some more size on. Trump's meeting's just starting. Great timing. Great timing. See, I thought it was lunch. It was close enough. Be careful here. Not got sound yet. Some absorption down here. Here we go. This one's got sound. Careful, folks. Everything's very special, very unique, very great. The best. No one's ever seen it before. All right, here's the 80s push. And we'll watch semis into previous day high if they stuff that in here. Trying to get filled a little bit more on a push up here if possible. That was the push to 80s. Probably missed that. Is anything ever normal with this guy? Everything's the best, the most special, the most talented, the greatest ever. Still trying to hold on. I didn't get filled up there, unfortunately. I think I was faffing around with the volume. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you guys are listening to this. Just past 250Ks. God bless you, my brother. Nice, JF Trades. Nice work. Still holding this to see if we can break down a bit further. Remember, this is the expected move, the purple box. If we get lucky, I can't remember who said it about the initial balance. If we get lucky, you are going to be correct, my friend, and we can think about this extension into here. And potentially down here, if we got very, very lucky. But remember, this is the main expected move for the day. I don't really expect it to come under here. Like I said, even when I was up here, I was telling you, I don't really expect it to come below this. It doesn't mean it can't. That was you. Nice, Woody. Here we go. Come on. Give us the fills at the lows. Can we get it? Nice. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give us IB. Fill the stat. Absorption down there. Sub value area low. Big buyer coming in here. Trump does not have a limited vocabulary. How dare you say that, Mark? No way. He has the best vocabulary. He has all the best words. He has Democrat. I made that up, you know. Democrat. Oh god, he's the best, man. He's comedy gold. We need a new Shane Gillis skit with him. All right, all the way back up here. This is the bid. So they held the expected moves. I was trying to hold a runner. I will get out here on a runner if it comes back to my stop. Remember, 220 is where that big buy is stuck. This will be the last trade for me today. Inflation is dropping. What are you talking about, chat? Inflation's dropping. Look at gas price. I told you $2. You're getting $7. All right, about to take my stop out here on the runner. I'm at that 220. End of day price. 400 million, thousand, zillion. Stock market's going up, up. Are we preparing to short? No, I'm already in my short and about to take my stop out now out of it. All right, the short was here. We called it already. You missed it. All right, if you weren't in. For me, it was here. All right, once we started losing, this buyer kept telling you it's absorbing and absorbing and absorbing. And once that buyer became a seller, we got short. We took profits on the way down. I personally didn't expect it to get below this zone. We've held that zone. We've come back to my entry. I'm out on the run at the end. That's the last trade for me today. It's a Friday. We've got 20 minutes left. All right. It's important you understand how and why this happens. All right. Think about this. This is the area which the buyer was non-stop bidding. Look at all these sellers. Big sellers, big sellers, big sellers, big sellers, big sellers. Did we move lower? No, we didn't. So there is a whale in here. Once that whale gets stuck, which is why we had to go a few times or one time up here and we had a second go down here. Once he got stuck with delta divergence at the high, all right, big passive seller up here. He gets stuck. He becomes a seller instead of a buyer. We travel down to value area low on the day. We can't break the lows. Why? Because I think the auction down there is pretty good. Remember, we've got trap sellers at the lows. Maybe you can see that, which is why, and it was in the expected move. So we covered into that. That's the end of it. For me, that's the end of it. There's nothing else to do. How are we doing on the likes? It's a good question. Definitely we're going to have one thumbs down because Alex says the F-bomb too much. I mean, it is true. I do say it too much, but like, you know, never seen your name before and you come in here questioning everything and it's like, don't worry, mate. Don't worry about the free content, the free education, the free trades, how to make money, where to make it from. You just get upset about the odd F-bomb. Now, you're lucky I don't use the language I do with my mates back home, honestly. All right, thumbs up button. We need another 500 likes to do a giveaway today. And we have had some killer trades today. All right, so the trades you had on stream, some of you held longer than me. Congratulations, those that did. But we were short. Where was New York Open? I think it was not there. Certainly wasn't there. We were short here. Where did we get? We only got down to into here, didn't we? Stopped out on the runner after that. And then we were long. Here. And then we were short. The short took two goes at it today. Someone asked me if I'm overtraded. Not overtrading, having two goes at the same move, all right? And I only got my best fill was here. Not bad. All right, over 100. Over 100. 200. You got over 400 points from me on stream, maybe 500 points on stream today. You do not need size in this market. Do I have weekend analysis for members? What do you mean weekend analysis, my friend? We don't do, there's no trading at the weekend. Yeah, I give them the levels. We do a big newsletter every week as well, every Saturday morning. How do you know if I'm buying or selling? Because I say, right? You have to listen. I call it way ahead of time. It's not like I'm talk about it right then at the moment. I'm telling you the levels way ahead of time. If I'm saying to you, sellers are caught down here, I'm looking for upside relief, then obviously I'm looking to be a buyer for that. If I'm selling, like if I'm telling you here, like I said, if we fail New York Open on a pushback, we're getting short. There you go. Right here. If the buyer becomes a seller, we're going to use his pain to come to lows. Here. Okay. That's it. I'm not going to trade anymore because we're too close to lunch. Maybe they keep dragging this down for you, but I'm done with it. It's a Good Friday. That will do. Look at the push down. Yeah, another failure. Was it? Did he poke through it though? Let me just check the order flow. Yeah, they can't get. The thing is, it's very dangerous now with how we've built out the liquidity. Normally, I'd say move lower, right? I'd say look for that. This is a good auction though, at the lows. It's a very good auction down there. I think it's going to be a struggle. Like, you're going to need major panic. Maybe we get major panic. Maybe we get it. But I'd watch MAG at VWAP. All right, so it's not like everything's in a pro sale right now, so we understand. MAGs, right? Green on the day. There's your New York Open. Opening squeeze. Fail call wall. Back down to New York Open. Back over VWAP. Over call wall. Initial balance. Sweep the high. Fail call wall. Back to VWAP. Back down. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Back into midpoint. All right? I don't know. Unless you're going to see a crack here and then sell the MAG into the weekend, which I don't see happening. I can be absolutely wrong. I just don't see why they would. Especially when we zoom out, like why the need to sell back down in the weekend. They held the support already. They don't need to come down here again. They can, but they don't need to come down here again. And the relief on the MAG is all the way up here, right? Semis, weaker. But again, there's your shelf. Looks like NQ, doesn't it? Breakdown. Funny how semis look the same as NQ. Breakdown. 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 Relief. Hold. Long yesterday. Pullback. Question mark. Can we hold for more relief? Or is this a two-leg, which next week we sell into? I would say whether we gap up or gap down next week will tell a big part of the story. All right, this is why I'm limiting my trades now. If we're looking for lower today, you're trying to say that, you know, that we have to come into here. We have to come back into range. You're trying to say that MAG has to lose a pivot and come back into range. Right? You're trying to say that IGV has to lose a pivot and come back into range. I don't know if we can do that today, especially when the auction on NQ at the lows, right? Think about this at the low of day. This is a great auction. This is basically trying to tell you the sellers, the last sellers have sold. Look, huge lots at the low. It's all sell side. There is a whale absorbing that. I don't think we can, don't think there's any reason to come back for that, which is why I'm not adamant on it. If we got a runner to go, great, but less probability to do that because the auction looks so good down there and because we hit the expected move. Well, he's talking about the war. I mean, if anything's going to freak the market out, will be if he starts going on about the war too much. Does end of month matter? Yeah, it does. Not as much as end of quarter, but it does. Of course it does. Definitely does. Alex, why can't I see those big trades at the lows on NinjaTrader? Probably because, do you have Spectra? Are you using, you need an order flow tool. You need some form of order flow tool. I use Spectra, which is the one that I put out, but you don't have to use mine. There are other order flow tools. You want to understand good auction versus bad auction. Okay, let's make it simple. I've gone over this many times, but this will help you. I'm going to come up here. So can we get away from everything? Is there anything? Is there anything? Can we get away? Can we get away? Right, there we go. Let me turn Trump down. Okay, so we're going to do the old Rolex, okay, because this is the easiest way to think about it. Right, let's just say we're talking about a Daytona or a day date, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Right, this morning, when we opened up, let's say the Rolex was worth $20,000. Right, and we, for some reason, the market, maybe there was a news piece on the Rolex that day and the market pushed higher. Everyone wanted a Rolex. This is what we saw this morning, right? Everyone wanted a Rolex and we came up to $30,000. And then buyers got exhausted because they were like, well, hang on a minute. It was only 5 minutes ago that I could spend $20,000 to get a Rolex. And now you're asking me to spend $30,000. Well, I'm not going to spend $30,000 on a Rolex. So the last buyer buys, okay? Sellers are willing to sell up there because they're making profit. The last buyer buys. That's the end of the auction at the high. When the last buyer buys, that's the end of the auction. We come down to fair value. We do a bit of a game for a bit. And then we lose the auction, all right? And we trade to the lows. And then suddenly that Rolex is worth $10,000, all right? And what do you think happens at the lows? Lots and lots and lots of buyers are willing to buy it down there, right? They're willing to buy it down there. So they are waiting, all right? These are smart buyers. They are these guys, all right? They're waiting with limit orders down here, all right? Big sponge to absorb it all. Now, what you get here is you have to understand fear and greed. And we always think of these as market participants, aggressive participants, okay, who will buy and sell the market. So greed happens at the high, all right? A guy decides, I've got to have that Rolex. I don't care how expensive it is. Yeah, take my money, right? And he buys it at 30,000. There you go. Shakes hands on the deal. Fear is what happens at the lows, where all the guys who maybe bought at 30,000, who bought at 20,000, get scared. Oh, it's 10,000. Oh, fuck, I've got to sell it, right? And they market sell. They market sell to the smart money who's absorbing it. So when you see big selling at lows, that's a good auction at the lows. When you see big selling at highs, it's a good auction at the highs. That's what a good auction will look like. Now let's have a think about what that might look like on the charts. What did we have on the drive at the highs today? What are these green bubbles? Very aggressive buying. Does price move higher? Remember, we wanted to short the moment we lost those. It just wouldn't let us in, right? Does price move higher after they've bought? No. So what do we have? Smart people selling to them, passive sellers. So once we move below, remember, we wanted to get short here and here and here. We just couldn't get in. It was a runaway train. So we had to get in when it was available, all right? That is a good auction at the highs. We come to the midpoint. Look, we build out probably some fair value for a bit during that time. Buyers and sellers are both being active in here. What happens at the lows? We start breaking this midpoint. Sellers come in. Look at the panic. All the guys who bought the highs are now starting to panic. All right, sell, 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 and look at the very low of day. All right, huge sellers at the low of day. We also have delta divergence at the low of the day. If you look, I don't know if you can see it on here. I'm going to put it down. All right, we have a strong negative delta candle, and we close higher. All right, this is telling you, hey, there's a big whale down here who wants to buy and bid up. And then once we turn around, well, everyone starts buying, right? So from $10,000 for the Rolex, big guys buy. We get to $12,000. Everyone realizes the bottom's in, and they're like, yeah, we're fucking have some of that, son. Boom. All right. That's how the market works in real time. It's not a fucking algorithm. It's not some guy in a stupid house with a beard and a cap on deciding where the market goes. It's an auction. It's a live auction all the time. That's what the market is, right? It's a rotation of value. We are deciding value all the time. It's just instead of a Rolex, we're looking at the Nasdaq. It's the same. It's exactly the same. What I've just taught you is exactly it. The bubbles and numbers inside, Brandon, you can set them two different ways. They're just delta, all right? So delta is buy side versus sell side. So we're looking at aggressive participants. So if we have a big red or purple bubble, that is representing the amount of market orders, all right? Market orders that come on the tape, all right? So if someone's marketing, remember, a deal is not done until a market order meets a passive order. A lot of people don't understand that either. All right, so if this is the book, in fact, let me just do it on Bookmap because then I can just show you live. It's going to be easier. Okay, these horizontal lines are limits. Okay, let me just, is there a way of me thinning this down? Probably not. This is going to be a good example of this guy here. So this is a passive seller up here of 116 lot. Now, for him to get filled, we're going to need an aggressive buyer. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So for him to passively sell, we needed an aggressive buyer. All right. We needed big boy buyers to hit the market, which is what you have here. So this is a perfect example right on cue. All right. So this passive seller who was sat there just got taken out. They agreed. They shook hands because he said, he was like, look, I'm offering 117 lot at 255. And this guy went, I'll have it. All right. He wasn't passively saying I'll have it. I'll have it. Shake your hand. I'll take it from you. There's the squeeze. Right. And now if we move under this, what do we now have? Exactly what I've just taught you. All these big buyers who got very aggressive here are now out the money. All right. And if they can't reclaim 255s, you're going to see downside pressure. Right. Because they were, for some reason, they wanted to snap his hand off for that money. Okay, and if we can't reclaim that, that is their area where they're trapped. So we have 150 lot, 100 lot, and a 64 lot. So we have 300 lots here trapped. So buyers must reclaim 55 to continue upside. Otherwise, this area here is going to be a problem. That's literally just happened right then and there, which is perfect timing. Yeah? That's a live auction. That's exactly how it works all the time. I didn't really have a mentor, mate. I didn't learn any of this other than studying by myself. No one taught me this. I wish they did. When I used to trade small caps, we didn't even really use volume. Everything was based on standard deviation and trap players, but it was more used on wicks. I didn't really understand level 2 and order flow. But no, sorry for saying fuck. I do need to clean my potty mouth out, though. It needs a good clean. It does need a good clean. My dad was a trader, yeah, but unfortunately, me and my dad didn't really have a relationship for the first 36 years of our life. So very, very on and off. Alex says, an imbalance the moment where a big buyer or seller is not checked in presence. An imbalance is basically a big engulfing bar, which is caused by very aggressive activity. All right, so all right, let's do the same thing. Remember, when you market buy, right, let me just give you an example. Let's say here is a 100 lot seller, and here is a 50 lot seller, and here is a 20 lot seller. Let's just assume that's on the tape. If someone comes on right now and says, hey, I want to buy 500 lots, market, they have to fit, they will get filled at wherever those first 500. So 100, 150, 120. Now, if there's nothing else, it's going to keep going higher until they've filled their 500 lots, which causes a candle like this, which is why you get that on like FOMC days and stuff like that, right? Because we're thin. Which means what? Well, there's no passive buying in that, right? There's none. It's just one big buyer causing the swipe up. So what we need to do is reprice. You'll get zero prints here where price is skipped. So there might be no orders placed between this 150 and 200. There might be gaps in price, right? Single print, zero prints. So we do a big move up. So the market likes to rebalance that by coming back down, letting passive players come back in before moving again. That's literally what it is. It is not an algorithm or a ghost in the machine. It is not that. Alex, I trade pre-market London session, but like days like today, we were so far away from previous day value areas. So do I just use it overnight? Yeah, just use it overnight. I would say London gave you really nice plays today, mate. All right, because you had a range. So this was your London, these were your Asia and London moves. Okay, so here, here, here. I would say there was a clear buy opportunity here, right? Resistance became support, right? Anyone who has followed me on X, or I don't know where, I struggled to find it, but I have to come way up here and find it, what we were looking at last night. You had the opportunities here. Right, this was your Globex opportunity. I thought we'd fail 500, push and fail. We didn't. We squeezed higher, but there was the move back down to what? Right, resistance becomes support. Okay. After that, once we got through it, we stipulated, well, it's going to go for 630s. There you go, 630s. Previous week value area low. What was the high? It was 640, I think. There you go. So once you saw this, you just had to identify that this was a range for you in London, right? So you need to be buying the lows, selling the highs. That's a clear range, all right? There's the clear out. There's the breakdown. There's the resell opportunity, right? And this is why we now have trap players over here. So we're selling versus that. We would like the market to come back into that. If the market can do one of these, we can sell that. If it can get over it, it's a reclaim, and we can play back higher. In terms of value, yes, you use overnight value because we weren't near value, but we were near previous week's value. Previous week's value area high was here. Okay, so we're rejecting previous week. So weekly traders are pushing downside pressure. So if you had just put value on overnight, it would have given you some pretty nice moves into London, into this 930. Right, it's a rotation. Failure to hold above, failure to hold above, failure to hold above, stuffed below, failure to stay below, failure to stay below, failure to stay below, stay below. All right, trade back inside, 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 trade back inside. Yeah. Can I show you that exchange on Spectra? What, that last big one? What time did that happen? What was the level? $11.53s. here, this here. This was the big buyer that came in. We've now printed over and we're holding. So this is the pivot now. So buyers need to hold that pivot to push back up. That was it right there. If we come under that, there's weakness, right? And then they can try and get to value area high and maybe this red block we talked about earlier, right? That's it. This guy right here, that's the exchange. That's the same one we went over on the Bookmap. It's exactly the same. What's the platform where you see trap buyers and candles with bubbles, not with Bookmap, but the other one? Spectra. I mean, there's, look, I don't want to sell my own, push my own stuff. There's lots of other stuff you can use, but I do think my one's pretty good. You can get it on the website. It's called Spectra, Flowzone Spectra, flowzonetrader.com. It's on there. Alex, I made a total profit of 2,850 Apex PA. How much can I withdraw? That's my first payout in a 68 accounts. Depends which... I don't know which account you're on, mate. Are you on a 50k or 25k? It depends. You'll have to check the rules. Probably 1,500 quid, I think, is the max you can pull out. Do I think the market's going to go lower or recover for a couple of weeks? I think we're going to probably go sideways for a little bit. I think we need to build out liquidity based on the daily for a little bit now. See, now I can't click this again. This is what happens, is some issue. This thing keeps coming up. It's so weird. I'm going to have to ask ChatGPT about it. So on a daily, I think we're going to build out liquidity between these, and that's going to dictate the next move. Now, if yields keep breaking out, if the inflation print is going to be bad, which it is, and if they can't recover and they want to resell semis, then maybe we get one more move lower and a little wick low and a trap low and then a recovery. The real bull thesis will start on a reclaim of range. All right, if we think about Wyckoff, all right, if that becomes our spring and we get like a sign of strength, I mean, that's we would all love that for 2027. I know there's lots of bears, but I'm not really very bearish. I don't like being bearish long term. I like buying long term. If we can't hold this and we don't just do an undercut and a reclaim, then it's going to be problematic. Now, normally we do come well below the 200 day. All right, I'm going to warn you. I will show you. Right, we can come deep. We can undercut. And we can go into bear markets. Now, this was back in 2022. All right, we undercut. We felt this is very similar to now. If you think about this versus now, this is looking fairly similar. Big drive up. Sideways action. Breakdown. Failure to recover range. Acceleration lower. Back test of where we broke down from. And then a drip lower. Bull trap, back test, drip lower. These can last a while. All right. I'm not going to rule out something like that. It's going to depend on the macro environment. I don't think that's what we're going to get. But what would that look like? Well, that would look something like this. Drip lower, bull trap, breakdown, bid out, 2027, 2028. That's what that would look like. Can't rule that out. It's technically possible. All right. I don't think we need to think about this right now. One day at a time, one thing at a time. If we recover this, it's a very, very good sign. If we can't recover this red block, which we can't today, then we're pinned in here. If we break that low, then we're watching POC. If we hold that and build and go sideways, it's a pretty good sign. If we undercut it and reclaim, it's a very good sign. And that's my full send, full portfolio long on everything I can grab. I am like nibbling already down here. I have already nibbled. But if we do that, and a prolonged period, even better. Long term, even better. All right, last few questions. Would I ever allow you to clip my lives? Man, if you want to clip my lives for me, go for it. I will post them as well. I struggle with the time to do it all the time. I use Opus and it's not always that useful. But if you want to clip my lives, if you want to send those to me at info@flowzonetrader.com, I'd be immensely grateful if you want to do that for me. Be very appreciative. How do you set price and time on Alex, on Bookmap, Alex? It's automatically done, mate. It's just auto done. I'm off. Alex, every day I'm up nicely and then I end up losing 2 to 3x and overtrading. Any advice on how to stop it? I feel so greedy on stupid. You're not stupid, but you're definitely greedy if you're doing that. You need, I would say the first thing is you're not in control of your emotions. That's clear as day. So put some safety measures in for yourself. All right. You need a risk manager in there. Whether you're going to buy one or you have it set on Tradeify, you need a max loss and a walk away point. I would say for you as well, you say you're up quite nice a lot of the time. You need a walk away point when you're green. So you just start taking base hits. Stop watching everyone else. Stop watching. Don't get money dysmorphia. This whole thing of, oh my God, I made $1 million today. Look at me and my Lamborghini. Don't get that in your head. All right. Process. Start building winning habits. Don't worry about the money. Whatever's good for you is what it should be. If 20 points is good for you in a walk-away day, just start doing that. Do it 10 days in a row. Then see if you can do it twice. See if you can get 40 points or 2 trades and walk away. Yeah? And do that 10 days in a row. And then see if you can do 3 trades and walk away. And then I'd say over 3 trades, you probably don't need to be trading anymore. Spectra's only for NinjaTrader, JD, unfortunately. We've tried to build numerous things for TradingView. It really struggles, mate, to read the order flow properly. I wish we could get something done. It's pretty poor, mate. How long did it take to conquer emotions for you? I've still not conquered them, but I don't think you ever conquer them. I've really struggled this year. I've been honest with you guys on stream. I've had a good trading year, but it's not even close. This is the hardest year of my life by miles. Like miles. It's not even close. I don't think I'll ever have a year this hard in my life ever again with stuff off the screen. Controlling that on the screen is very, very, very hard. I didn't even want to come to work today. I'll be honest with you. I was pretty down last night. So, size down is the best way. Understand what you've got going on off the screens. Be kind to yourself. Like, if you don't feel like trading, I'll be honest, if I didn't have you guys in the community, I wouldn't have been here a lot this year. I wouldn't. I enjoy trading with you guys. I enjoy looking after people. I enjoy teaching. I'm having a shit year off the screens. It's really bad. It's really bad, but there we go. So it's hard. I don't think you ever conquer them. Like, no one ever can fully masters their emotions. It's just knowing what you master is understanding, hey, I'm not in a good space right now. I need to walk away from the screens. Hey, I'm on tilt. I need to stop. That's what you have to master. You'll never conquer the emotions. You're never going to stop feeling fear or greed or pain or guilt or anything else. Shame, all those low frequency feelings, guilt, shame, mourning, those are low frequency feelings. You'll never stop feeling those. You're human. It's just knowing when you're feeling them and walking away. Alex, do you do a weekly, daily team talk on Discord? We used to do a weekly one. We haven't done it for a while. We can start doing something again, but we haven't done one for a while. What specs my PC? I don't know. I built it like a couple of years ago. It's very fast. I can't remember the spec. I don't know stuff like that. I'm not geeky enough to know it. I wish I could. I did know it. I built it. I got told what to buy, and so I built it. All right, let's get the likes up, folks. I'd love to do a giveaway. We're into lunch. We're about 300 likes short at the moment. What's my reset like away from trading? Well, I'm not ashamed to say I was in therapy for most of this year, so that's been useful. Breath work, working out. I love watching anything that fills my cup. I love being outside with my dog. I love being at the beach. I love being in nature. That's what fills my cup. So anything like that fills my cup. Anything that can help me improve as a human being and feel better about stuff. Yeah. Anything that lightens my load a little bit. No worries, Billy. Have a great weekend. What brand are the glasses? They're Hugo Boss. I must get asked that once a week. Delina, I'm really sorry to hear that. It's tough, isn't it? Tough isn't even the word. Grief is... It's something. It's something. It's really tough. It's a really tough... I can't even imagine the pain that causes. So good for you for getting on your feet and pushing forward. Good for you. What model are they? Oh, I have no idea what model the glasses are, guys. I don't know. Oh, Delina. Ellie Dana, wow. That's a lot to go through. That is an awful lot to go through. Kudos to you again for getting on your feet. All I've learned about myself this year and the last 6 years, but especially this year, is I'm a resilient bastard. I am so resilient, and I think I have not had the easiest life, and so I can deal. It's not like I like pain, but I can deal with it, and I can keep putting one foot in front of the other, and that's all I tell myself each day. 1 foot, just 1 foot. Just get up, just go to work, go to the gym, take your dog outside. 1 foot each time. Keep doing it, and it does get easier. I feel a lot better now than I did in January and March. I can't even remember. January to May is such a blur to me. I can't even remember it. Genuinely, I know I turned up on stream. I had a little bit of time off, but yeah, you just got to keep going. I watched a quote from someone, and I really agree with it. There are 2 things that hit home for me this year. I'll be honest. This is more philosophical chat than trading. I'm sorry. Some of you might be bored. I can see everyone leaving chat. They're like, I don't want to hear this. Don't blame you. 2 things that hit home for me this year is, 1, understanding what forgiveness is and acceptance, because I never really understood that. Forgiveness is not saying to the other person it's okay that what they did. Forgiveness is all about letting yourself out of that pain, accepting that something's happened and letting yourself out of that pain. Acceptance is key. We're all humans. We make mistakes. Give people grace where they deserve it. It's hard to do, but it's important. That was the first thing that like probably really hit home for me this year, that made a difference. Yeah. The other thing that hit home is that life is about pain and suffering. Every day is really about pain and suffering. It's just to what level you're suffering, right? Everyone's in pain and suffering for something. Everyone's got a story, right? Everyone's got a story, whether it's their kids, their mum, their dad, their brother, their sister, their wife, their husband, their partner. They've lost their job. Something's happened. There's always some form of pain and suffering in life. And it's really just about dealing with that and not letting it bog you down, just accepting, hey, I've got limited time on this planet to have the biggest positive impact I can have for people that I love. So that's the mentality. It's not to dwell on it. It's not to feel sorry for yourself. Some days you're going to feel shitter than others. Some days I come to the charts, I don't want to be here. Other days I'm here and it's like nothing's happened. But we just keep going. We just keep going. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And be as positive as we can. And life tends to turn around. When you're positive and you stick at it, it tends to turn around. And I would definitely say that's what's happened for me this year. Breathing, yeah, breathing's important. Like I went and did a breathwork course 2 years ago now, as in to become a teacher for it, but not to teach, just for my own use more than anything. But I'm qualified to teach it. It's a game changer. There you go. Christian, 35, had a heart transplant 3 years ago. Keep going like nothing happened. That's it, mate. That's the mentality. Kudos to you, my friend. Too many people bottle stuff up. Couldn't agree more. Especially men of my age and older. I'm guilty of that. For sure. For sure, I'm guilty of that, mate. I'm guilty of that. Like yeah, I mean, I snapped at someone last week. Was it last week or the week before? Been building in me for months and months and months, and a random guy decided he was going to start a fight on me. And a fight he fucking got. He got. I had to drag myself away before I did anything. Because there's just too much bottled up anger and pain. And I was very proud of myself for not doing anything. But every part of me wanted to do something bad. And I didn't, which was amazing. But I swear, you get tested when you're at your lowest point. You get tested the most. However you want to think about it. Some of you would have seen the post I did, like whatever god you're into, or spirituality, or breathing, or higher energy, or whatever it is. Maybe it's nothing, but I feel like they test you when you're at your lows. They really test you when you're at your lows. They're like, I don't know, let's fucking throw everything at you this week and see if we can crack you. Alex, I just rewound the tape. Do you talk about your trading? Sorry, I just rewound the tape. Do you talk about your trading about therapy? I'm just asking because I've been going. What do you mean? Do I talk about my trading stuff to a therapist? I don't because I don't need to. It's, for me, it's not part and parcel of it's. Trading doesn't cause me the problems. All right, so the stuff that I'm dealing with is off the tape. But that's not to say, right, and I've talked about with some of the members, that's not to say stuff off the screens doesn't change how you are. All right, okay, let's think about this. If you've like grown up with nothing, right, you might have more fear in a trade of losing money, for example. and that can affect you. If you've grown up being given everything, you might have more greed. It might be the other way around. The life that we've had will affect how we trade. If you've lost a lot of money in a job and you're desperate to get it back, you're probably going to be greedy and oversize, right? All these things affect you. So you might want to unpack some of that stuff. For me, it's not a big part of what I need to go through. What I've been going through this year is a completely separate entity to trading. It's not to do with any of this, but it's definitely worth having a deep dive in. I definitely had a deep dive into that probably 4 years ago now. Why was I struggling so much? Why couldn't I cut my losers fast enough? What was in my background that meant I had that need to achieve, need for money, and combined with like push beyond the realms. It was all childhood stuff. It almost always is. It's always childhood stuff. Even if, I don't know if any of you have watched In Waves and War, great doc, which is about Ibogaine and Marcus, and I watched it because those guys literally saved a friend of mine's life, and all these guys go and take it, and you think it's going to be all this stuff about PTSD from them serving in Afghanistan, and it's not. It's all like childhood stuff that comes through. It's crazy. My tone's changed, yeah, Zeus, because it's this. I'm not talking to you as a trader now. I'm talking to you as a friend. I'm not talking about entertainment now. I'm not talking about the charts now and squeezing people and making money. This is different, right? You've caught me in a moment of vulnerability, so I'm being open and honest with you rather than trying to hide it away and acting like everything's fine all the time. Awesome, Brandon. That's awesome, man. Way to lighten it up. It's quite nice that you did that. I actually needed that. Did I miss the giveaway? We need 6 more likes. We get to 1,000, we'll do the giveaway. Good way to lighten it up. I like that. Cursing is actually therapy, though. It's to do with your mouth movement and build up of tension before you curse. It's actually true. It releases stress. So that on the front of it releases it. My favorite one, which I'm not allowed to say in America, is the C one. It's very commonly used in England and Australia. We don't say it here. It's not allowed, but that's my favorite one. Even like dickhead, right? It's the build up. It's genuinely release. If you actually look into it, it's a release. Yes, I know. I see that on Apple. I've got price alert set. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, it's looking good. All right, so here we go. Squeeze back up. So if any of you were in the long from down here, this hold, like I said, I don't expect it to come lower. Right, there's the higher low. So higher low, higher low, higher low. There's a hold, higher low. Your TP is here. Your runners are now here into this block. Right, now if you get acceptance over that block, it's a mega squeeze. Right, I doubt we see that today, but we think about this. You must respect the move into that block. So if you've been long, your partial, that's your top TP, but this is your value area. Look, right here. Every time we've come here, we've rejected so far today. Every time we've come here, we've rejected. We're in a big B. Right, from the open. Think about the open. This is our B-shaped profile. We're in the D of the B. If we get above the B, price acceptance higher. If we can't get above the B, we rotate the B back to POC and maybe all the way back down. Who knows? All right, I'm going to assume we're there on the likes. I haven't even looked, but I'm going to assume we're there now. We'll do a giveaway. I tell you what. Do you want a Lucid giveaway, guys, or do you want an Apex giveaway? What would you prefer? What would you prefer, Lucid or Apex? Lucid? All right, we'll do a Lucid. I'll just make sure I've got one before I say it. Make sure I've got one to give away here. Give me a second. All right, I'll do a 50K. Is it a flex? Yeah, 50K flex giveaway. All right. All right. You know the score. Type FZT into chat. Just type it once. That's your best code for all your prop firms. Other than Take Profit Trader, use code FlowZone, but everywhere else, code FCT. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. Is Trump still talking? Incredible. All right, let's pull this win up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jacob Harlow. Are you here, Jacob? Let me know you're here, Jacob. Give you 30 more seconds, otherwise we'll re-roll it. Jacob Harlow, 63. Ten seconds, Jacob. All right, we're going to re-roll. Sorry, mate. You missed it. Right, re-roll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. BNG NQ. Are you here, BNG NQ? Here comes the squeeze, by the way, guys. Coming up to that 400 move. Nice. All right, congrats, BNG. Email me, please, my friend. info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I've made a note of your name. If you do that successfully and it's you, I will send you a code for a free 50K Lucid Flex account. All right, Lucid Flex account. Congrats, man. Congrats, everyone. Congrats, everyone who's long in this move as well. Really nice move up to here. Super clean. And this is your TP. ES is back to New York Open here. I haven't had a look at these charts for a while. MAG's continuing to break out. So the next level for MAG really to come into is 65.50 to 65.70 for the MAGs. And then I'm going to mark these out. And then after that, there's an old pivot into Wednesday's close, which is really looking at 66.20 to 66.35. It's a good drive out there on the mag. Really, really big push. Really big push. There's a fail in front of 400 here. So if you were a buyer, you basically need it to hold these 40s. Now, if you can't hold the 40s, you want to be done with it. All right, and that's it for us today. Congrats, everyone. Thanks for those who hung around and had a little chat. Always nice to have a little chat off the charts, off trading. Sometimes it gets boring looking at the same stuff all the time. Appreciate you all. Oh, Jacob, man. Is that you, Jacob Harlow 63? No, Jacob, you missed it. I know you're late, Jacob. I know you're saying I'm here now. I know, but we re-rolled it, mate. We tried to give you a chance. I'm really sorry. That sucks. We left it for a while. I can give you an Apex account, Jacob, but I can't give you a Lucid account now, I'm afraid. But if you email me, I'll give you an Apex account. All right? info@flowzonetrader.com. It's the best I can do. Sorry, mate. We re-rolled your giveaway. Sorry, bub. All right, folks. Look out for the newsletter, as always. All right, if you haven't signed up, the links are down below. It's pinned to the chat right now. It's for free. It goes into your inbox. On a Saturday morning, we called the low this week. We were right there. We've been calling it for a few weeks. We were right there. It came in. Limit your trading for the rest of the day. Friday, end of week. I will see you guys Monday morning. Have a good weekend. Get off the charts, all right? Do not sit on these charts all day. It's a Friday. Go and get off the charts. Go and enjoy life, okay? There is a whole world out there. Peace and love, everyone. Use hard stops, all that good stuff. Take care.